Welcome, everybody. If you are tuning in through Facebook or you are listening to the podcast, you are listening to the Patty G Show, and I have Laura Wynn of Laura Sue Planning and Events, and also a bunch of other stuff that we're going to get into. A little teaser on some Hispanic heritage we're going to cover as well.
Course.
So I'm really excited for it. Thank you for coming on the show, Laura.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, you are more than welcome. I'm excited to get into it. So, for those that may not be aware, what do you do?
All right, so by day, I'm a communications manager for new schools for Baton Rouge. And then by night, I am an event planner. So I do a lot of event planning, and sometimes I dive in a little bit into social media marketing, or sometimes I do a lot of PR.
Okay. So how did you get connected with New Schools of VR?
So I actually have a mutual friend, and I met my boss, Adonica, through my husband, and then we connected, and then I landed that position.
Very nice. So what is your, because you're doing the social media for them, right? You're doing the marketing.
The marketing. So I do a lot of PR. I am the brand manager, communications manager. So I do everything from graphics to a lot of public relations.
Gosh, so what made you want to get into marketing?
Oh, I love marketing. I think marketing in itself is just the way people see you.
Okay.
So I always like to help people. And I think that helping them develop a brand, helping them make sure that they look good, that every person has a story. So if I'm able to tell the story in a very creative way, that's something that I really enjoy doing.
I love that. Yeah, everybody's got a story, and everybody's story is different.
Right.
They may think it's the same, but in reality, it's different.
Right.
So, a question I've always been wondering, the difference between advertising and marketing.
Ooh. Well.
Can we break the two down?
Well, that would be you would have to ask somebody who is in that field specifically.
Gotcha. More in depth than we can go.
More in depth than what I can cover.
Gotcha. Okay, so what are some things that's happening with New Schools of VR as of today?
So we are just working. Our mission is to make sure that every student in Baton Rouge has a better education. Okay. And that's pretty much what we do.
Gotcha. Do y'all have any upcoming events happening in Baton Rouge or anything going on?
Not as of now.
Okay. What about through the school year? How's the school year going to be looking for y'all coming the fall with everything that's taking place with COVID?
So with COVID, it just depends. We're just still waiting to see what's happening. So far this summer, I know that we're focusing a lot on summer enrichment programs.
Gotcha. Okay. So to your planning side of things, you got the side hustle.
Yes.
So you're working the 9 to 5, but you're also doing something on the side. How is that balancing act?
So with event planning, I do a lot of the stuff. So events, it has their tricks and has their tricks.
Right.
So basically, I plan ahead. So let's say, for example, I do weddings. So I already have I created this really nice binder for brides. So this binder, and then I asked them the essential questions. I asked them, all right, so when is the date? What is your dream wedding? Pinterest, show me everything that you want in your Pinterest board, and we'll make it happen. So I take all the information and I create them a binder that will tell them, let's say if you're getting married next year in June, that'll be a 12-month program. So in their binder, I will create a 12-month program in which they can just do a checklist.
Gotcha.
And then they can just knock things out. So every month we follow up, we meet every month, and we follow up and we do a checklist. And then we make sure that we are on track.
Gotcha.
So it's always so with events, it's always that magic. You already know exactly what to expect. You just have to make sure that you are very organized and you time everything correctly.
Right. I know the planning the event is the easiest part. It's when the event's happening and you're in it. So what are some, what's the easiest event you've had to plan, and what's the hardest event you've had to plan?
Oh my goodness. So my easiest event, it has to be what I call charity improv.
Okay.
Not sure if you heard of it, but it's an event. When I started my event planning company, I wanted to create an event. So my husband is very involved in comedy. And give a shout out to Kenny.
What's up, Kenny?
He was in Patty G's show a couple weeks ago.
That's right.
So Kenny loves comedy. He loves stand-up comedy. So we were watching stand-up comedy one day, and I was like, oh, well, why don't we do a comedy improv type of show, and people come in and they watch, they enjoy their show, and there it is. And it was poppin'. When I mean poppin', it means that it was popular. People love Baton Rouge needs a scene in which like they do a lot of comedy. People want to laugh. People want to enjoy themselves. So that was a platform that it was a two things that really impacted. Like people were loving the event, but also the stand-up comedians that I got were locals.
Okay, so we got some local talent at a local event.
Local talent that they were like, they're professionals, but they never done stand-up comedy ever. And then I told them, okay, you have 5 minutes, you have 10 minutes, write something of your experience, and people loved it. Like I had one person who came up to me and said, thank you so much because number one, I never would have done this. Number two, you gave me a platform for me to be able to express myself and people to see me a little bit different. And life is all about enjoying and laughing. So why not tell your experiences in a very innovative way?
Yeah, an innovative way. And it's also, it gets you out of your shell in a sense of, because I know public speaking is like, I don't know where the fears rank, but I'm sure public speaking is on the top for most people.
Oh,
it's just
number one,
getting in front of people and just, especially in comedy, you're telling stories about yourself.
Right.
You know, you're being vulnerable with the crowd. You're being vulnerable with the audience and saying, hey, last week I was at the grocery store and somebody pushed a cart into me, you know, and stuff like that. So you're talking about stories and stuff of that nature. That's pretty cool.
And stand-up comedy has their own like little secret as well.
Okay.
You have to
What's
know
the secret?
So there's a couple of things. Like I read that you have to have you have to read your audience. You have to know what type of audience you have. Like if you have like the older crowd, the younger crowd, you have to know like what jokes would make sense. Because if you say something and people don't laugh, you know, like, okay, you bombed it. So you always want to like make sure that people can relate.
You got to know the audience that you're standing in front of.
Absolutely.
So
I've seen some people bomb at
what's the worst you've seen?
Oh my goodness. Somebody was talking about their children and for me it was just like, oh my goodness. Like that's a no-no. So you know, like I was in the back and I was just like pulling the sign. I was like, you have 1 minute. Like that's it. Like cut it out.
They just got up there for like 5 seconds and you're holding the 1 minute's up. Nope, time's up. Time's up.
So, you know, you read the crowd and sometimes like when you see like people are laughing and enjoying themselves, that's when you tell your jokes. Right. You feel the crowd.
Right.
It's all about the energy.
Yeah, it's energy. And I feel like even for, you know, for shows, for stand-up comedy, there's a bit of warm-up time.
Oh, absolutely.
That it takes to get the crowd, you know, moving and grooving with you. And so you don't want to come out there, you know, right out the gate and just start waylaying your best stuff.
And for that event, you need to have a good host.
Right.
So if you don't have a good host that is able to warm up like the crowd, then like your first comedian has to do a lot more. Right. But like so far, all the charity improvs, what I do is that I fundraise for a nonprofit. Okay. So the last one that we did was for Maison des Amis, which is a nonprofit that works with a lot of people with mental illness and they're homeless. Okay. So you combine both of them together and we give them shelter. So we fundraise a lot of money for them through comedy. Okay. Now, you asked me about the event that is the hardest. Yes. I say it would be the hardest, but it is the most rewarding one, and it's the big festivals that we host with Go Rouge. Okay. Shout out to Go Rouge France. And France. Shout out to France. So with the festivals, you have a lot of it, a lot of elements. Because if you're hosting a 500 people festival, you have to think about, all right, the food has to be good, the pricing, how are you gonna sell your tickets? You have to do the marketing, you have to do the logistics, you have to get the permits. Right. Like if you're like people don't like to go to events without alcohol. So you have to do you have to get the alcohol permits, you have to make sure that you market it as much as you can. And it's just like it takes you a long time to like get all that process in. And then the day of the event is just like running around and making sure that, oh my God, how is everything? How are you doing? Making sure that the vendors are doing good. Like the vendors have everything that they need. Or let's say we're doing, the last event we did was Wingamania. Right. Great event. Which is an all-you-can-eat chicken wings. And we raised at least $8,000 for Mary Bird Perkins. Absolutely. So we wanted to make sure that everybody, like 3 days before, they had their wings. Want to make sure that they had their tents. Making sure that they have like the floats that they're going to put their wings and how many wings each person is getting. So it's just a lot of logistics and a lot of emails and a lot of communication.
And how is the communication with the vendors? I've heard it can be tricky because sometimes it's not vendors' full-time thing is to reply to emails because they're busy cooking or doing this. So how is that working with the vendors throughout Wingamania, for example?
Okay, so if I don't hear from them, I have their phone number, so I text them. Text them or call them or email them. I tell them, hey, did you see my email? Or if I see them, I was like, hey, check your email. I sent you something. So I want to make sure that they are informed. And I always like to I don't like to send them a lot of emails. I just send them one email with all the information that they need. And I always make them a map. And I'll tell them, okay, so at 4 p.m., you're going to bring your tent. You're gonna start cooking. You can't bring this. These are the things that you can't bring, but here's the things that you can do. And then just let them know. And at the event, when I see them, I repeat myself. And I want to make sure, hey, per my email, this is all the stuff that needs to happen. And thank you so much for participating.
Gotcha.
Because most of the vendors that we have, they're very generous. Like, they are so kind that they put in, like, their own ingredients. They cook, and they do it for the good for the community.
Yeah, and that's the thing with having those events. And especially like Wingamania, you've got people that are donating their time, donating their resources for the better of the community.
Oh, absolutely.
And I love seeing that in the Baton Rouge scene. People coming together and people really just saying, hey, how can we improve the community and what can I do to help? And that's just all over in Baton Rouge.
And that's the thing that I love about Baton Rouge. Baton Rouge is all about collaboration.
Yes.
Like, Patty, you can send me an email and you can tell me, hey, I need A, B, C, D, and I will do my best to help you out. Because this is about helping the community. We can't do things alone.
Yeah.
You know, we always have to collaborate together.
Right.
Like, for example, big shout out to Jen Oakman. I don't know if you know, she's doing the front porch project and the storefront project.
Yes, I saw that picture today.
Yes, and then she is going to places and encouraging business owners to just fill out the form, and then she's going to contact you, and then she'll take your picture. And then you'll get the pictures, and then she's going to give you a shout out.
That's awesome. It's giving, and that's kind of the one of the premises behind the podcast was to give those people like that who don't necessarily have the resources to create the content and create the visuals and the audio and everything, and then put it out on the platform for them.
Right.
And say, you know, it's you come on the show, you know, let me take your pictures and whatnot, and then just promote you and just promote the community and promote the businesses here. And so I love seeing that type of collaboration here locally.
Absolutely.
Okay, so going on from the charities, you said that you work with Go Rouge on that. There are some other things that you kind of do for the Go Rouge show in regards to like marketing or anything of that nature?
So Franz does his own thing. So Franz does a lot of his own things. So the only thing that I help with Franz is like the festivals.
Gotcha.
So that is our main collaboration. He tells me, hey, let's do a chicken wing festival. Let's do a mac and cheese festival. And then let's raise money for the Baton Rouge General, or let's do Mary Bird Perkins. And then we just chit-chat a little bit, and then we make it happen. And
I love it.
And then people love it. People always find ways to support.
Yeah.
That's what we appreciate the most.
If sometimes if they can't support, whether it's monetarily, it's, hey, how can I help? Can I volunteer to work some hours? You know, can I come in there and just pick up trash or something like that?
Or even spreading the word. And that's one of the things that I've been telling people. It doesn't matter like what you do as long as you spread the word. Just tell people on your platforms, people that you have on your Instagram or Facebook, and just tell them about it. Yeah. It makes a big difference.
Oh, absolutely. It's spreading the word is the hardest thing, especially when you're trying to grow a festival. And when you have these nationally acclaimed festivals and whatnot, it's easy because people know about it. Right. But when you try to get something off the ground and try to make things happen, it's really that word of mouth in your local community that kind of sets it apart.
Right.
You know, it's, hey, the share button's just a click. It's
just a
two,
click.
It's 2 clicks. It's click to share and click to post. You don't have to type anything. Just share it, get it out there so people are more aware of it. And then let those who are going to do what they want to with it, where they're going to participate, donate, however, it gives them the opportunity to be involved in something they might not have even known about.
Right.
You know, because a lot of these things are, I mean, how long have y'all done Wingamania? How many years have y'all been involved?
So Wingamania would be 2 years.
2 years. Okay.
2 years. And we're always hosting it at Tin Roof.
Okay.
Because Tin Roof partners with us.
Gotcha.
So we do all the permits, and then they let us host.
Yeah, they have alcohol there. I mean,
of course.
Like we said, events gotta have alcohol.
Of course.
Okay, so what made you want to get into event planning?
So let me tell you a little. Let's backtrack a little bit more.
Let's back it up. How far back you want to go? What kind of a kid were you?
Oh my God. I was very shy kid.
Okay.
When I was young, I was very shy. Like, you can tell my mom. Like, my mom was just like, oh, like, she just goes to school, extracurriculars, goes back home. And that was me. I was always in the bubble. So I got a scholarship to the University of New Orleans.
Okay.
And basically, I wanted to do biology. I studied biology. I wanted to be a doctor. And during that time, I was an international student.
Okay.
So when you are an international student, they put a lot of, like, hard stops on you. What that means is that if you're a student, you only study, and then you can't get internships or get work outside because you have like a hard pause on that. You can only work if you're a student worker at the university.
Okay. So just within the university
Within
realm.
the university.
Okay.
So I did that, and I tried to do biology, and it didn't work out because in order for you to be able to get a loan for med school, you needed to be a resident. So it was just like a lot of different things. So funny part is that one day before I was going to leave back to Honduras, I was born and raised in Honduras, I saw a teacher that was struggling with her computer. So she was like trying to smash her computer and was like, I don't understand technology. I just don't. I'm an older lady with a lot of knowledge. I don't understand technology. So I sat down with her and I taught her everything. So right now everybody knows about Blackboard and Moodle. So I helped her set up her Moodle for her class. And next thing you know, she was a department head for the Department of Romance Languages, Foreign Languages at the university. And then she hired me as a graduate assistant. So I basically got my master's in Romance languages and Spanish.
Okay.
So I was looking to teach, and that didn't work out. And then next thing you know, I ended up in banking.
Okay.
I ended up in banking, and then during that time, I was dating my husband. And then we got married, and I moved to Baton Rouge. And then I was in that crisis, like that mid-crisis in your 20s that you're just like, okay, I graduated biology. I don't want to be a scientist. I don't want to go to med school.
Right.
I ended up into banking, which I thought it was going to be a very linear. So all my life, I thought it was going to be very linear. I'm going to graduate. I'm going to get a job and married, kids, yada, yada, yada.
Right.
And
go down that traditional path that everybody's looking at, and that's what they're going to do. Nice, safe, easy path.
Next thing you know, banking didn't work. Teaching didn't work. So I took a couple marketing classes.
Okay.
And my husband was like, yeah, just take whatever, like no rush. I took a couple of marketing classes, and then I met Franz. And then through that, Franz was like, oh, do you want to do this? And I started learning how to do all the stuff that I was doing. And next thing you know, I was very good at events. So I did the first mac and cheese festival. So we did a mac and cheese festival for a podcast called Alt BR. It's no longer here. But I was working a lot. I did like the marketing. I did the graphics. I did like a lot of the stuff for Alt BR. And next thing you know, I enjoyed it and I loved it. And I was just like, I had that moment. You know how that you have like that moment in which like, oh shoot, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life.
Yes.
And that idea pivoted and now I'm here.
Now you're here.
Yes.
So where does the new schools for Baton Rouge kind of work into that play?
Oh, I love it. Like I love doing the marketing and communications. So I enjoy it a lot. Gotcha. But with my with event planning, so back in 2018, I did it for a full year. So I was not working. I was dedicating 100% to my business. But then I realized that I was meeting the same people. And I needed a change. I'm the type of person that I need structure.
Yes.
So with structure came like, getting a job. So when I got the job, one of the things that I really enjoy about my work is the flexibility. So being flexible and being able to do two things that you love really makes a difference.
Right.
So that's where like both of my my full time with new schools for Baton Rouge and then Laura Stu Planning and Events.
Okay. So it's that you found that happy medium.
Yes, it's a happy medium.
Yeah.
So it's not that I'm doing two different things.
Oh well, no, it's all the same, just in two different areas almost. So
with event planning, I find the joy in sharing the events and marketing and doing PR and sending press releases and letting everybody know about all these cool events happening. And that's my drive. So with events, I do all the logistics, and then with marketing, I end up like sharing and spreading the word and doing good for the community.
Right. Okay. So I want to go down the marketing hole, and I want to specifically social media marketing.
Okay.
Let's talk about that. So for somebody who's going to try to promote their brand, they're getting off the ground and getting started, what are some recommendations you would have on how to go about that? I mean, from step one, let's say I've got a Facebook account from when I was 13, and that's it.
Okay.
Where do we go from here?
All right. So the first thing I would do is branding. So think about number one. Think about like if you want to keep that name. So let's say your podcast ended up being Patty G Rocks, right?
Okay, let's go with it. Yeah.
Let's say Patty G Rocks.
Right.
So the first thing you're gonna think about is number one, are you doing this as like a passion project, or are you doing this to make money? So depending on whatever you pick, then you brand your Patty G Rocks to Patty G Show, right? And then you start thinking about like what do you want your people to know you as? So you start thinking about like your logo, like what does Patty G wants to look like?
Yeah.
Who's your target audience? Because like if your target audience is like high school, you have to make sure that it's very hip. Like try to TikTok or try to do the dances or try to like do selfies. You have to know your
Carl when you get on TikTok.
Yeah. You have to know your target audience first. And then after that, like let's say, for example, for me, I'm doing event planning services. So my target audience are people who wants to have events or they have an idea. So that's where like, once you know your target audience, then you start catering your content to them. So for example, Patty G Show, you want to make sure that everybody knows everybody. So you take the person and then you always tag them. You use all different platforms. You use Twitter, you use LinkedIn, you use Facebook, you use Instagram, and then you brand it and you make sure that the content targets your audience. So if you're featuring me, you would want to tag me on all my social medias, but you also want to like either put in a quote about me or make the post feel like a story.
Yeah.
Because people love stories.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
People live off stories.
Yeah. So you so that's the rabbit hole that I go to. I start thinking about like the long term. Okay. So if the Patty G Show wanted to go on TV, like what are the steps that you have to do? And I always, when I do a marketing plan, I always do it in a 6-month plan.
Okay.
Because
why 6 months?
6 months because marketing takes time. Like social media marketing, spreading the word takes time.
Absolutely.
Like you can't just be day one and have like 1,000 followers. No, you can't do that.
Well, you can. You just buy them.
Right.
But then what good are they actually?
Right. Exactly. Like, are you just liking their posts? Yeah. So you want to make sure that you build gradually. So let me tell you something about my event planning business. So at the beginning of COVID, like, I was planning events and people knew me.
So much stuff was happening. So many events were coming up in 3 months.
But I was terrible at marketing myself. Oh my goodness. I could have seen my Instagram, 4 posts. You see my event planning page, Facebook, 6 posts. I wasn't growing it. Look, I could tell people that I do this, but if people don't see the product, they won't know that you do it.
Absolutely.
So started COVID and I was always running. So when COVID hit, I stopped. I took a break, took a little break and was like, okay, what are some ways that I can do, I can help my business? Because I know that with events, it stopped. So what are some of the ways that I can
how can you adapt?
How can I adapt? How can I make a difference? Yeah. So I started doing 2 things.
Okay.
I started doing intentional Saturdays. So I'm a runner.
Me too.
Yeah, runner, half marathons.
Heck yeah. I did a marathon, fist bump. I did a marathon a couple years ago, actually. I did Louisiana, and then I did the Baton Rouge Beach half before that. I was much younger and much faster.
Gotcha. So I love running. My goal in life is to run 1 half marathon in every state.
That's legit.
50. So 50. So far, I only got 2. So I got a long way to go.
Hey, 2 is more than none, all right?
Right.
I've only got 1 down. You got twice as many.
Well, I challenge you to do that, too.
I'm in.
Well, it's also like, it makes you feel good. You run the finish line and stuff like that. So I do intentional Saturdays, and I support a nonprofit.
Okay.
So I like spreading the word about that specific nonprofit because a lot of nonprofits are doing so many great things and people don't know about them. So I try to do that and I try to donate to them. And the other thing that I've been doing is webinars. So
webinars have blown up during COVID.
Oh my God. So there's webinars every day.
I see that.
Yeah.
So you're posting about all of them. I'm
so
like, I love this.
every Sunday, because Sunday is my rest day, but I always plan.
Right.
I'm a planner. Every Sunday I write down all the stuff. So when I know, like, for example, we have Rob Wise. He does this chit chat.
Rob.
And
that guy is
good old Rob. So
Rob, love you, man. You're phenomenal.
Yes. So every Sunday I'm always asking Rob, I need your list. I'm gonna add it to my rotation.
Right.
So and then lately I've been having Instagram friends who are messaging me saying, "Hey, can you post about this event?" And I was like, "Sure. Why not spread the love?"
Absolutely.
So my husband was telling me like, "Wow, is being consistent, and consistency is everything." So I've been consistent with it. I've been tagging. Let me tell you a funny story. So LinkedIn.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of tricks about LinkedIn that I never knew, right?
Which
is so surprising because
they come in quite handy.
I stalked you the other day on LinkedIn and I was like, Patty G has 400 plus followers. Look at you.
498 before the show started.
Oh.
Give me the 500 people. I need two more.
500. Like his page. So I started reading about all these tricks about LinkedIn.
Mm-hmm.
And next thing you know, I was like, okay, I'm going to post. I'm going to make it authentic, make it me.
Yeah.
I have this high energy personality, so I just want to put everything on LinkedIn. And there's LinkedIn allows you to invite people.
Yep.
So I started doing that every month, and I started so in LinkedIn before COVID, I had one follower, just one.
Hey.
One beautiful follower. Thank you for that beautiful follower.
It all takes is one.
It takes one, and the next thing you know, I started growing, and now I'm at almost 400, and this is in COVID. This is in 10 weeks. So it just tells you, if you give people the right content or you show people how authentic you are, people will follow you. So I think that's what I've been doing through COVID. Even though events are not are on halt, I still think that sharing the love or giving free resources to people. Just
right.
I have a friend who's getting married and I just text her and saying, hey, I have this stuff for weddings. Do you want it? So I just sent her a PDF of all the stuff and she's like, oh my God, this is so helpful. And next thing you know, now I'm planning her wedding.
See?
So it's just great, the connections and just people seeing the goodness of your heart.
Yeah, it's when people see good, they respond well.
Yes,
it's
absolutely.
When people start seeing negativity, they kind of start shying away.
Right.
But it goes back to that consistency. You can have this good pendulum and swing and everything, but as long as you have that true mission of who you are as a person and who you are as a brand constantly throughout the whole process, that's when people just start latching on and just absorbing everything.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So, okay, LinkedIn. I want to go down LinkedIn because I'm still trying to... You're now the third person I've had, and we've had 30-something episodes, that is actually all about LinkedIn. So I love it. So,
oh my goodness. Love LinkedIn.
Everybody else is it's just for a job, or it's just to get a job, but I've already got a job, I don't need it. And people don't see the value of the professional connection.
Right.
The professional capability that LinkedIn has for people we connect on a professional level, but also the copy that we're writing. If you look at the post I did today on Instagram and on LinkedIn, they were about the new logo that just came out this week. And the copy on the Instagram is more fluffy, more friendly, more kind of personable about it. But then when you go to LinkedIn, it's a little bit more professional. Not much, but it is, because that's what the platform wants. And a lot of people I see, they tend to take one post and just blast it across all different platforms.
That's me.
Without tailoring it to each individual platform, because for Instagram, what do people like?
Oh, people love photos.
They love photos.
They love photos, shiny stuff, beautiful things.
Right.
Quotes.
Right. Quotes, inspirational quotes, just things that make them feel good.
Right.
And that's Instagram. And then when you move to Facebook, for example, what is a content category that people enjoy on Facebook?
Oh, people love celebrations.
Yes.
They love celebrations. They love birthdays. They love weddings. They love engagements. They love everything.
Events. They love life events or events that are happening that they can catch up on.
Or Facebook Lives.
Yeah. People love the Facebook Lives.
Yep.
And they love that interaction with people. People interact a lot more on Facebook than they will on Instagram.
Right.
Unless you do an Instagram live, then you get that same activity. But live is huge. And if you're ever so privileged to have LinkedIn Live, that tool is incredible. Not
you have
there
to apply
yet.
For that.
I've applied. I'm waiting to hear a response. So, and then we move to LinkedIn. What kind of content are people looking for on LinkedIn?
People like to read. So people like to read inspirational things like how to build a team. They like to read things from Forbes. And Forbes have been releasing a lot of things about like working remotely, how to keep your team motivated. So people love to see the professional side. It's not technically looking for a job, but it's technically like telling your brand, like, this is who I am professionally. Like, let's connect. So It's like a platform that connects 100%.
Yeah, like for me, if I'm looking for a future guest of the podcast and I'm trying to line somebody up in Baton Rouge who is involved in a business, maybe a business owner or a business leader, I'm going to have a better shot of finding them on LinkedIn than I will on like Instagram.
Oh, 100%.
Or Facebook. Facebook, you can still find them, but they're more personable on Facebook.
Right.
You're going to find a picture of them with their family, a picture of them with their dog. Like you and Kenny, just y'all's dog is adorable. By the way.
Yeah, Corgi. Yes.
Corgi. It's just precious. But you're going to find that on Facebook and maybe some on Instagram as well. But on LinkedIn, it's your professional side. Everybody's got their professional shot. They're in their suit, their tie, or their professional attire for their profile picture.
Right.
And it's more of who you are professionally.
Right.
And so being so active on there, LinkedIn rewards you. And it rewards you well in how the algorithm works.
Right.
So I'm glad to see that you love the platform as well.
Yeah, and it's not just for job seekers.
Oh, absolutely.
It's for people who want to show the world that, I do marketing and maybe you do some graphic design and you want to show, hey, I did the graphic design for this brand. Like how great, like you show your work.
Yeah.
Like if you do it on Facebook, people are going to be like, oh, okay, cool. It looks nice. But on LinkedIn, you have professionals who know the value of your work and they'll tell you, wow, this is amazing. Like, I commend you for doing this. Or, oh my God, I see the strategies that went through your head when you did this. So it's just great.
Yeah, it's more so on Instagram, you're going to get the likes, you're going to get the comments.
Right.
Maybe a couple of DMs about people saying, oh my gosh, really love what you're doing.
Right.
Facebook, same thing. But on LinkedIn, you're going to have that brand say, hey, love what you did with brand X. Come over here to brand Y and do the same thing for me.
Yes.
And so it's that conversion rate that is really impactful on LinkedIn in comparison to the other platforms.
It is also how you use LinkedIn too.
Okay.
Because I know I follow a couple of CEOs. And the way that they do it is they you can see their companies and they have, let's say, 500 employees.
Right.
But the way that they use their platform is because they have so many people follow them, they share good news about their companies and they share like employee of the week. Like, oh my God, like I was just passing by and people knew my name, but I took an opportunity to meet this person. And it builds employee morale. Like
Absolutely.
I'm like, oh my God, the CEO of, let's say Spanx, Sarah Blakely, she featured me, who I'm just an intern, in her like LinkedIn. Like it means the world.
Yeah, you're given that personal touch on the professional level,
right?
That makes people enjoy their job more.
Oh, absolutely.
It makes them want to go to work. It makes them, if they're tired and groggy and want to call in sick, they're like, no, I want to go in because they treat me well all the time. And that what they post on social media is not just a facade. It's what actually happens at the workplace.
Exactly.
And then they will always love to talk about it. A lot of people like to hear themselves talk. A lot of people like to hear their voices heard.
Right.
So, and LinkedIn gives people that ability to do so in a professional way.
I like that quote.
So it's not just for job seekers, all right, or jobs postings. There's a lot more happening on LinkedIn.
And you get a lot more information. Like I can see Facebook. Listen, like I could go to Facebook and I could be like, okay, like this person. But when I go to LinkedIn, people post a lot of articles that I'm just like, oh wow, I didn't know about this, and I just share it. And this is valuable information.
It's valuable information, and it's informative information that you can use in your you can apply it on Facebook. you got like 12 ads you got to scroll through to find something. On LinkedIn, it's okay, this business is posting this. This person shared what the business update was, and you're like, okay, I did not know that about that business. I really like that business and what they're doing. And then you want to support them even more. So it's just that snowball effect that you're seeing. This person's opening this location here, they're doing this in the community, and you still have all the celebrating that you have across the other platforms. But it's put in this little box of your professional life.
And another cool thing about jobs, I'll now talk about jobs.
We'll talk about jobs. Let's
you
go
can
jobs.
find all the jobs
Yes.
on LinkedIn. Like, you make yourself marketable, and a lot of HR people, they use LinkedIn to see, like, they don't want to see, like, what you have on Facebook or Instagram. They want to see what you have on LinkedIn.
Oh, they'll look on your Facebook, too. They'll check out and see what you're doing on Facebook before they interview you.
Well, that's true. But, like, mostly LinkedIn.
Yeah, LinkedIn, let's see if you're professional enough. And then let's go see your personal side. Let's see what you're doing on Facebook.
Right. Well, if you go to my Facebook, all you're going to find is my dog. My puppy, my corgi, my Taco.
Kenny says Taco is sleeping right now.
Aw.
But shout out
the sweetest.
To him. Yeah, we don't have the dog yet. We'll get there eventually.
So what dog do you want to have?
We want a sable German Shepherd.
Oh, sable. Oh my gosh. Sable is such a nice color.
They're gorgeous dogs, and I come from my family. We've had we have 3 German Shepherds right now between my siblings. So we love German Shepherds. My wife loves German Shepherds, so we're gonna go that route.
Oh, there you go.
The big dog, just keep it friendly for when kids come over.
Oh, there you go.
Okay, so moving from the social media side of things, you're also involved with Junior League.
Yes.
Let's talk about that. What do you do for Junior League?
All right, so last year I was research and development, but this year I am very pleased to be the marketing director and promotions for Touch a Truck. Okay. And for those that do not know, Touch a Truck is the event that you teach the kids about all the different jobs that people do, but you also get to touch ambulances, like you get to touch like trucks, you get to touch a lot of different things. So it's just a good experience. It is also a fundraiser for the league.
Okay, and so are y'all still going to have that event this year, or has that been postponed?
So it has been postponed. We had a virtual one.
Okay.
But then hopefully
a truck.
Yes, like a virtual truck. But hopefully, we are under construction until 2021.
Okay.
So I'm crossing our fingers that.
What's under construction mean?
So you know how Touch a Truck is all about like trucks and constructions and all that stuff. So that's the saying that we like to say. Under construction.
Okay.
Until 2020.
Some lingo until 2021.
Some lingo, yes.
Got it. Some marketing lingo. Okay.
And the Junior League is a lot of empowering women. We volunteer a lot with a lot of the different things that we do at the league. We work with Knock Knock Children's Museum. We do a lot of help at the hospitals. We do holidays, which is like the thing. Like everybody goes to holidays in October.
Yeah, holidays I've actually been a vendor at holidays for a previous business, but continue. We'll get there later. Continue.
Oh, okay.
Continue what you were saying with
we're
holidays.
Looking for vendors now. If you want to come back,
we'll see. We'll see. Set up a podcast booth. Record people in there.
Yeah, there you go. So Junior League has been really, really great. This is my second year, and so far I feel very empowered. Like there's so many women who are very driven. They also have full-time jobs, but their dedication to the league and improving and inspiring women is just phenomenal.
Right. It's a women helping women, and then everybody else also helping support the whole cause.
Oh, absolutely.
Which is great.
And we also give grants to nonprofits.
Okay.
So that so we raise a lot of money, and then we depending on what the president and our mission, then we do a lot of grants.
Okay. So what are some of the nonprofits y'all have worked with? In 2020, not much has really happened so far. Or could I be wrong? Has a lot happened in 2020 with Junior League?
Not as of yet.
Okay.
But I'll definitely keep you posted.
Got it. So
we'll get more information.
What are some past non-for-profits y'all have helped over the course of the years?
Ooh, I would have to get back with you. I don't have something on the top of my head. I'm so sorry.
That's all good. We're on the spot. On the
spot.
No, it's all good. Okay. So I was a vendor at holidays.
Okay, so tell me more about it.
I enjoyed it. It was phenomenal.
Okay, so for those who don't know, Patty G is an accountant.
Yes.
And I never knew that.
I'm an accountant. I've done a plethora of things. I've had a lawn business on the side. I've done social media marketing for a couple of brands.
Side
and
hustles.
It's some side hustles. I made paracord bracelets for a while.
Oh, there you go.
And sold those. But then I also had a lifestyle brand called Off the Pier. So, and that's what, before the show, Carl was talking about his wife getting some shirts. And so that's what some of the shirts we gave him last night was some t-shirts that we had for the lifestyle brand. So I was at Holly Days for Off the Pier selling the lifestyle shirts.
There you go.
So it was a great experience. It was very well put together. I've been to a number of trade shows, and Holly Days was one of the better put together ones. Mostly because we didn't have to walk in the rain if it was raining, because we had the indoor parking and all that.
Oh yeah.
Except for the time we lost power for 2 hours.
Oh well.
But that was the River Center.
River Center.
That was the River Center. So,
yes.
Okay. So what is a couple of things that you like about the Baton Rouge community?
Ooh, there's a lot. Collaboration.
Okay.
For sure. We have very unique individuals in the community. Like, we're very diverse. We have a lot of entrepreneurs, actually.
We do.
Yeah. We have a lot of entrepreneurs. I really love the way that we all get together, through adversity. We had the flood, and then we came out together, and people started building houses for others. Oh, your house is flooded, let me help you.
Yeah.
So people help together. COVID-19, a lot of people are helping. We have different organizations like Scrub Grub with the Baton Rouge Emergency Coalition. You have Shift Support. They're donating for the doctors at the hospitals. You have a lot of different organizations that are getting together, just making Baton Rouge better.
Yeah.
And I think that's the whole point.
Absolutely.
And I love that our community is also very small.
Yeah, we're a little small. What is it? A little big town.
Little big town. Yes. We have a lot of great restaurants too, and even restaurant owners, they're very supportive. You tell them, "Hey, I'm throwing this event. Would you mind helping out?" And they'll help out.
Yeah.
They're always super friendly.
Oh yeah, it's everybody wants to help everybody, especially with the flood. I can remember just going down the street of people's houses, just not even knowing who they were, saying, "Hey, do you need help?" Ripping out sheetrock or anything. Because it's those that weren't affected were like, "Okay, what can we do to help?" Because it's a similar situation in the COVID that everything was shut down.
Right.
But it's more of people were physically impacted, to their homes, their houses were actually damaged within that. And so it's, okay, what can we do to help? Well, we can start helping them tear stuff down.
Right.
And seeing that band come together of the community was just phenomenal in my eyes.
Oh, yeah. There's a lot of things happening right now, here in that Baton Rouge area.
What we got going on?
So, we have the storefront project.
Yes.
We also have Lighting the Way, which I'm also part of it.
Yes.
And Lighting the Way, we are selling the blue light bulbs, and then $4 out of the $5. So you buy a light bulb for $5, and then $4 of that goes to the program Scrub Grub for the Baton Rouge Emergency Coalition. You also have Shift Support that they get donations, and then they donate to the hospitals. You also have my husband is spearheading this one.
Okay.
Oh my God.
No pressure. He is watching, but no pressure.
He is watching. It's viral positivity.
Yes. Okay. He just invited me to like the page. So what is viral positivity?
So viral positivity is an initiative started from 368 BRAF.
Okay.
The Baton Rouge Area Foundation and Hiller Moore, a district attorney. And what they're doing is they have a website in which you can submit the photos of healthcare professionals, and they and you can post it on the website, and you can say something positive to all the healthcare workers that are working every day. Okay,
so it's just relaying that positivity across the board as much as we can.
Yes.
Okay, that's very cool. Anything else that's going on in the community?
Nothing else that is popping out of my head.
Okay.
As of right now.
What events should we be on the lookout for?
Ooh.
We're with event planning. What we got? What's on the horizon?
So right now, in the summer, I just think virtual events. Just keep on looking out for virtual events. But hopefully for me specifically, for 2021, bringing back charity improv. Another event that a lot of people love that I haven't mentioned is Table Story. Okay. And I don't know if you heard about it.
I have not heard about Table Story. What is Table Story?
So Table Story is an event that I highlight chefs that are not very highlighted in the community. So I did a have you heard about El Tío Taqueria in Burbank?
The name sounds familiar.
Oh my god!
But elaborate. We've got time. Go for it.
Best tacos ever. Oh my god! So since I know Spanish, I talked to the lady, the owner, and I just told her, hey, I just want to host an event. Like, we do appetizers, 2 entrees, and then a dessert.
Okay.
And then we show them about the cultures. We tell them about like what it is to eat authentic food. So the first one we did at Cho Yum Fat Vu Le. So instead of doing like Cho Yum Fat food, he did Vietnamese food.
Okay.
So he talked a little bit more about Vietnamese style food, how we all eat together, how like parents like always encouraged everybody to like sit at the table and share family style. So you're not like, not everybody has their own plate. Like everybody, like you put all the plates in the middle and then everybody shares.
Gotcha.
So I try to like use that platform to teach others about other cultures. So
going back to the culture.
Yes.
That we're going to talk about. So let's go there.
Yeah.
So the culture scene. What do you find is most important when spreading the culture to other people?
So personally, for example, I'm from Honduras, so born and raised. And whenever I think about Hispanic food, I always want to like teach people that, you know, everything is made with love. And you made everything from scratch. And one of the things about my culture is that we love giving hugs. We love doing like the kiss on the cheeks. Well, it's not really predominant like here in the US, but like I like to teach people about where I came from, my roots. Like what are some of the things that I like to do with my family. Like we like to chat. We like to do family style. We like to make our own tortillas, or we like to eat different things and try different things. We like to, my parents were always very into storytelling or telling stories or spending time together. So we always like book like a night out, like a night of the week, and we just watch movies and we just hang out. It's just the spirit of like staying together. Right. So I know like over here, like everybody's just like on their phones or on social media.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Phone, social media, or you can see like one of the things that really like shocked me when I came over here, everybody's on their phones. They're texting, they're looking at the stuff, take picture, and they're still on the phones.
Especially at restaurants.
At restaurants.
Oh my gosh, it's terrible how frequently that happens.
Yes.
And it's like, okay, you're at a restaurant. You're out in public with your family, with your friends. You're all sitting down to enjoy dinner. You know, that time is like a sacred time. At least in my family. For when we eat our meal, it's our sacred time. Okay. And that's the time that we get to hear about each other's day. We get to you really become closer as a family unit whenever you share a meal together. Right. And when you're on your phone, how are you doing that? Right. You know, you're not. You're seeing what your friends are up to on Facebook, you're seeing what your friends are up to on Instagram, you're taking a picture and posting it. And it's, you know, don't get me wrong, I'm all for posting on social media and sharing your experiences, but excuse me, there's a time and a place for that.
Right. Oh, absolutely.
Take the picture and then post it later.
Yes.
Like don't sit there and, you know, take the picture and then post it and say, okay, this is what I'm doing. Everybody get in for a group photo. That's fine. But take the group photo and put the phone away. Right. Don't sit there and live stream your dinner. Right. You know, unless you put on a charity event and you're trying to promote it. That's all fine and dandy. But when it's you and your family, like, come on, guys. Right. Gals, let's put the phone away.
Yeah. The first thing I do is like I take my photos and I put it away, and I always put it in my back. I was like, yeah, I leave it at that. Yeah. And then later in the car I can be like, okay, let me try to post this.
Post everything.
Yes, but like no, I think that like the time, spending quality time with people, that's the most important. Absolutely.
And it's as a society, we've gotten so ingrained in the devices in our hands that we kind of I don't, for the lack of a better term, we neglect those around us at times. You know, because I've straight up been in a room where we go and sit down with 4 or 5 people and everybody's on their phone. Right. And I'm like,
or people become too dependent. Right. Or people become too dependent. Yes. So let me tell you a story about Italy.
Okay.
So you know how?
No, I've never been to Italy. I don't know anything in Italy.
So, well, not technically Italy, but you know when you travel, sometimes like you go to your AT&T provider or anything else over there, and you tell them that you want LTE or 5G or whatever in your phone, so you can like be able to navigate or use your apps in Italy. Well, we didn't do that. So we didn't do that, and we're in Italy. And then we realized that our phones were like inept. Like, no,
not working.
No, yeah. Italy doesn't have Wi-Fi everywhere. So you just have like, and then me and Kenny were like, okay, so we have to go really old school. So we have to remember the streets. We have to remember where we were. We have to remember the trains, everything. And it really challenged us in a different way of like, we don't need phones. We have everything we need here. So it was just like a different mindset, different view.
Right. You were forced to rely on yourself.
Yeah.
As opposed to rely on a device.
Right. Exactly. And for those that always say like, oh my God, I can't live without my phone. No, you're totally fine without it.
You can.
You can.
Wait for a hurricane season when all the power goes out.
Yep.
And it's gone for a week.
Yep.
And you can't charge your phone.
Right.
You manage.
Yeah.
Stuff you're able to reconnect with people in ways that you weren't able to before. Like the whole COVID situation was a form of reconnecting with people. There's so many people on the streets running, riding their bikes, outdoors, just enjoying the laid back, relaxed, slow pace of life that COVID forced us into.
100%. And also another thing that I learned in Europe, people eat dinner late and people just enjoy a glass of wine. Like you can be like, for us, dinner is like 6, 7.
Right.
For them, dinner is like 8, 9.
Yeah.
And they close at 3, like at 1, and from 1 to like 5, they're just chilling in the patio. I remember this guy telling me like, you Americans don't know how to chill.
Yes. That is... I fall into that category. I don't know how to just sit and chill. Like we'll go, like if we go to the beach, my wife loves it because she just sits and she's just able to relax and do nothing. For me, I'm like 5 minutes in, I'm like, all right, looking around, all right, I need to go do something. Like I can't just sit here and that's like my biggest, or one of my biggest struggles is just sitting still and zoning out and just turning off. Right. And it's like I can't. But I want to. I want to be able to sit there and just kind of chill and relax. So maybe I need to go to Italy. Yes. Maybe I need them to teach me their ways of relaxing and
just
chilling.
relax and eat dinner and enjoy company.
That's it. Drink a glass of wine here and there. Nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong.
Okay, so to start kind of finding our way to the end of the show, what are a couple of lessons you've gathered along the way? You've kind of seen... You're in the 9 to 5, but you're in the side hustle as well. So what are some of the lessons that you've gathered throughout your process?
So I'll leave you with 3 things. Number 1, in business, a no today doesn't mean it's a no tomorrow.
Love that.
The second thing is always take an hour a day for yourself. It can either be 30 minutes walking, but always have that reset your mind to really like start your day. And then the other one is I have a 5-minute journal that I do every single day. So the way that the 5-minute journal it works is that you start with a date, it gives you a quote or a challenge, and then you write 3 things that you're grateful for. So if you start your day with gratitude, 100%, like your day is so much better already. Right. And then you write 3 or 5 things that you want to accomplish today. And then at the end is like, it has a personal statement. It says, I am ... And then depending on how you feel that day, you can just say, I am strong today, or I am a champion, or I am going to be awesome today. So it's a daily affirmation. And then at the end of the night, it asks you, what are 3 amazing things that happened today? And then what is one thing that you would change? And as long as at the end of the day, you're like, I'm very happy with all the progress that you made, that is gold. And always keep trying. Like,
yeah, it's a daily, like you said, for the 6-month plan for social media, it's a slow process. Yes. Nothing happens overnight. At least nothing good can happen overnight.
Right. You can't grow everything in like, a lot of people are like, okay, like I hired you, do this, and this. And I'm like, no, you have to do it gradually. 6-month plan. You can't have a tomato grow in a day. Or Rome was not built in a day.
Yeah, we've got our tomatoes. We're still waiting on some ripe tomatoes after several months. So absolutely.
Yes. But at the end of the day, once you see like the tomatoes growing or you see like the product of what you built. Right. That progress is so rewarding.
Okay. And was that 3?
Yeah, that was 3.
so fast.
3, practice gratitude,
Yep.
right? A no today doesn't mean there's a no tomorrow.
And time for yourself.
And take time for yourself.
I love that.
And use the time. Like COVID has taught us to like take walks, run, enjoy the outdoor, get some sun.
Yeah, did nobody know the outdoors was there before?
Right.
Like it's always been there.
Like lately I've been seeing a lot of people on the bikes. A lot of people like been running.
Right.
Like it's been great.
And that's really what we need more of in life. Is more of the slow down pace,
Right.
more of the time for ourselves, more of the gathering ourselves mentally, and just making sure that we're okay. Making sure home's taken care of.
Yes.
Before taking care of other people. That's why they tell you to put the mask on first for yourself in the airplane before you help other people.
Exactly.
Because if you're not in a good state of mind and you're not where you need to be, how are you going to help somebody else get there?
Exactly.
So, final question, what can I do to help you?
Ooh, that is a question that I would ask you first. But to me is just share the word. Just share the word about like what we're doing, and if there is anything that is happening in the community, let's get together and make it happen.
Let's do it. I want to chat with you about a baking event.
A baking event. I'm interested.
There's a lot of logistic issues that I've talked with some bakers about. So we'll discuss.
It's like doing Iron Chef.
Essentially, yes. You need a lot of equipment because I want it to be like baked on site.
Right.
So, well, maybe for 2021 we can explore this option. So 6 months to start planning now.
Deal.
All right. And for everybody else tuning in to the Facebook Live or to the podcast, thank you so very much for sticking around and listening to the show. I really appreciate it. And I also really appreciate you, Laura, for coming on the show.
Thank you so much.
And for everybody listening, make sure you check out Laura Sue Planning and Events. If you need an event planned or you just want to know what's happening in the Baton Rouge community, check her out. She's on every platform. And I saw Brian Haldane was tuning in. Brian, check her out on LinkedIn, man. Hit her up. If you're on LinkedIn, if you're on Instagram, wherever, she's got amazing stuff, and she's always informing the community about what's taking place here. And share the show. Share the podcast. If you know somebody who would make a great guest, hit me up. Message me, DM me, whatever way you want to get in touch with me, and let me know, and I will do my best to get them on the show. Or if you want to come on, same thing. Hit me up, let me know. But as always, thank you all very much for tuning in. I am Patty G here with the Patty G Show, signing off with Laura Sue Planning and Events. Y'all have a good night. Thanks.